Good morning. Thank you for joining me in this morning mindfulness practice. I'm going to continue today reading from Neville Goddard, The Power of Awareness, where he talks about desire in chapter 4. The changes which take place in your life as a result of your changed concept of yourself always appear to the unenlightened to be the result not of a change of your consciousness, but of chance, outer cause, or coincidence. However, the only fate governing your life is the fate determined by your own concepts, your own assumptions. For an assumption, even though it's false, if persisted in, will harden into fact. The ideal you seek and hope to attain will not manifest itself, will not be realized by you until you have imagined that you are already that ideal. There is no escape for you except by a radical psychological transformation of yourself, except by your assumption of the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Let me say that again. The ideal you seek and hope to attain will not manifest itself, will not be realized by you until you have imagined that you are already that ideal. There is no escape for you except by a radical psychological transformation of yourself, except by your assumption of the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Therefore, make results or accomplishments the crucial test of your ability to use your imagination. Everything depends on your attitude towards yourself. That which you will not affirm as true of yourself can never be realized by you. That attitude alone is a necessary condition by which you realize your goal. So the first thing is, what do you desire? What do you dream about? What do you really want? You can have whatever you want within the bounds of nature, so long as it is legal, moral, ethical, but only if you imagine yourself to be there, what it's going to be like once you have attained your goal, once you are living your true ideal. So it's really important to ask yourself, what do I really, really, really want? Not what am I settling for? What do I think I can get? If I could be or do or have anything, what do I really want? Sometimes that takes a little practice, that takes a little bit of settling yourself down and asking that question and seeing what comes up from a deep inner longing, maybe something that you really wanted as a child or at least a younger person and thought, oh, I could never do that, or someone talked you out of it. Or other people said, that's not for you. Why would you want that? What you want, you know deep inside. There is a spiritual essence of you that knows. There is a deep longing. Sometimes you just need to get quiet and allow it to rise to the surface. It doesn't take hours sitting in the mudra position, meditating. It does take getting still for a few minutes, putting away distractions, taking a deep breath in, allowing your body to just sit still. Sometimes that feels like, what's happening? What's next? I got to be doing something. You're so trained, so programmed to be always doing, going, rushing. What if you just thought first, where do I want to go? If you're running in the wrong direction, you're just going to move further away from what you truly desire, not even realizing it. Become consciously aware that first you decide where you're going. Like when you want to drive somewhere and you program the GPS in your car, you set the destination before you start driving. Otherwise, you could be driving east when you want to travel west. You could be on your way to Florida when you want to be heading to Canada. Where do you want to go? First, decide. And that takes asking yourself the question, what do I really want? Peace? Happiness? How will I know? What does it feel like to be at peace? What does it feel like to be happy, healthy, wealthy, loved and desired, respected? You have to embody those qualities, being in that state of being, and then you'll notice your outside world change. You'll see things manifest in circumstances and conditions around you that reflect your own peace, contentment, happiness, and health. What about purposeful work? Do you enjoy what you're doing? Do you pass the time of day so absorbed in your work that you don't want to stop? Would you be doing what you're doing for free just because you enjoy it so much? You're serving people from a passion of what you enjoy, what you believe in. Neville Goddard says, all transformation is based upon suggestion, and this can work only where you lay yourself completely open to an influence. You must abandon yourself to your ideal as a woman abandons herself to love. For complete abandonment of self, complete abandonment of self to it is the way to union with your ideal. You must be so in love with your dream, your wish, your goal, that you feel it, you see it, you are focused on it. You must assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled until your assumption has all the sensory vividness of reality. You must imagine that you are already experiencing what you desire. That is, you must assume the feeling of the fulfillment of your desire until you are possessed by it. And this feeling crowds all other ideas out of your consciousness. Neville goes on to say, the man who is not prepared for the conscious plunge into the assumption of the wish fulfilled in the faith that it is the only way to the realization of his dream is not yet ready to live consciously by the law of assumption. although there is no doubt that he does live by the law of assumption, but that is done unconsciously. For you who accept this principle and are ready to live by consciously assuming that your wish is already fulfilled, the adventure of life begins. To reach a higher level of being, you must assume a higher concept of yourself. If you will not imagine yourself as other than what you are, then you remain as you are. For if ye believe not that I am he, ye shall die in your sins. If you do not believe that you are the person you want to be, then you remain as you are. Through the faithful, systematic cultivation of the feeling of the wish fulfilled, desire becomes the promise of its own fulfillment. The assumption of the feeling of the wish fulfilled makes the future dream a present fact. So let's take a moment to grab a pen and paper and think about things that you really want. They might be material objects. It might be a peaceful, easy feeling that you love what you're doing and your day is filled with flow, with ease and flow. Yes, you're working, but you're not efforting. You're filled with power, not forcing things to happen. What would you be doing if you loved your work and you felt fulfilled and money was flowing in and you had time and money freedom? What does that look like? Just take a few minutes to write. I am so happy. I'm so happy and grateful now that. You might tell a new story or just write a list of how you would prefer your ideal life. What are you working towards? And I'll be back. Good morning again. Did you write something that sounded maybe a little surprising to you, that something came to you you weren't even aware that you wanted? A deep desire that you forgot about? If you did, that's wonderful. That means you've slowed down your mind and your body long enough to connect to your heart, to connect to infinite intelligence, to connect to the creator of the universe, infinite intelligence, the universal mind. And you are co-creating your life with that beautiful energy. The energy is always flowing to and through you, always available. Energy is constantly in motion, and we make it what it is by our thoughts, feelings, and actions. You can tell when you're not feeling great, and you can back it up and say, what am I thinking? And most of the time, the thoughts are focused on, what do I have to do to survive this day, to get through the day, to do this job that I don't like, or whatever it is. When you slow down and ask yourself, what do I really want? You can set an intention that today will be the best day ever. When you go out into the world with that intention, it might last for 5 minutes, but the more you practice it, the more you notice your day is filled with flow and ease. Traffic opens up. You're at the right place at the right time, and you recognize there's an opportunity for you. That happens when you're calm, when you're relaxed, when you're in control of your thoughts, rather than letting your thoughts run wild and control you. I'm going to go on with Neville Goddard. The next chapter is The Truth That Sets You Free. The drama of life is a psychological one in which all the conditions, circumstances, and events of your life are brought to pass by your assumptions. Since your life is determined by your assumptions, you are forced to recognize the fact that you are either a slave to your assumptions or their master. To become the master of your assumptions is the key to undreamed of freedom and happiness. You can attain this mastery by deliberate conscious control of your imagination. You determine your assumptions in this way. Form a mental image, a picture of the state desired, of the person you want to be. Concentrate your attention upon the feeling that you are already that person. First, visualize the picture in your consciousness. Then feel yourself to be in that state as though it actually formed your surrounding world. By your imagination, that which was a mere mental image is changed into a seemingly solid reality. The great secret is a controlled imagination and a well-sustained attention, firmly and repeatedly focused on the object to be accomplished. It cannot be emphasized too much that by creating an ideal within your mental sphere, by assuming that you are already that ideal, you identify yourself with it and thereby transform yourself into its image. This was called by the ancient teachers subjection to the will of God, or resting in the Lord. And the only true test of resting in the Lord is that all who do rest are inevitably transformed into the image of that in which they rest. You become according to your resigned will, and your resigned will is your concept of yourself and all that you consent to, all that you accept as true. You assuming the feeling of your wish fulfilled and continuing therein, take upon yourself the results of that state. Not assuming the feeling of your wish fulfilled, you are ever free of the results. You never get what you want if you don't start with feeling the wish fulfilled. When you understand the redemptive function of imagination, you hold in your hands the key to the solution of all your problems. Every phase of your life is made by the exercise of your imagination. Determined imagination alone is the means of your progress, of the fulfilling of your dreams. It is the beginning and the end of all creating. The great secret is a controlled imagination and a well-sustained attention firmly and repeatedly focused on the feeling of the wish fulfilled until it fills the mind and crowds all other ideas out of consciousness. What greater gifts could be given you than to be told the truth that will set you free? The truth that sets you free is that you can experience in imagination what you desire to experience in reality, and by maintaining this experience in imagination, your desire will become an actuality. You are limited only by your uncontrolled imagination and lack of attention to the feeling of your wish fulfilled. When the imagination is not controlled and the attention not steadied on the feeling of the wish fulfilled, then no amount of prayer or piety or invocation will produce the desired effect. When you can call up at will whatsoever image you please, when the forms of your imagination are as vivid to you as the forms of nature, you are master of your fate. Neville goes on to say, visions of beauty and splendor, forms of a long-lost race, sounds and faces and voices from the fourth dimension of space, and on through the universe boundless, our thoughts go lightning-shod. Some call it imagination, and others call it God. When you can sit still and focus on your breath, taking a deep breath in and letting that go. Taking 3 long, deep breaths in. Relaxing. And getting so clear in your imagination of how you want to be living, that when you open your eyes, you expect to see it already here in your real life. Everything starts in the imagination. Everything you see around you was once just a fantasy. Your computer, your cell phone, your appliances, your vehicle, your home, your coffee cup, the chair you're sitting in. Everything started in someone's imagination. Everything starts as a fantasy. Why not Make your fantasies big and bold and beautiful, and whatever you desire, write it down. Tell a story about how you'll be living when you're living your ideal life. You don't have to worry about the how. You're going to get things done. The resources that you need, the people to help you, the circumstances, the environment changes as you change your concept of yourself and assume that you have the power within you to bring into physical manifestation whatever is in your imagination. Make it your heart's desire. Focus all your leisure time in your imagination, pretending that you are already there. You can feel it. Like maybe you can even add sights and sounds and smells. Maybe you add in who is celebrating with you. Think of your wish fulfilled from the aspect of already having it done. It is complete. Enjoy it. Create a wonderful day. Thank you for joining me in this morning mindfulness practice. Have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you back here Monday morning at 7 Central Standard Time. Thank you.